All right, so are you ready to dive into another deep dive with us?
I am definitely ready.
Cool, yeah, me too. And, today we are going to be talking about integer sequences.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, I know, right? It's going to be awesome. And we're going to be taking a look at this Wikipedia page, the category, integer sequences
Like
page.
that page. It's like a treasure trove of numerical wonder.
Yeah, it is. And, just even glancing at this page, it is mind-boggling. We're talking about prime numbers and Fibonacci numbers and perfect numbers, and the list goes on and on.
It really does. And there are over 200 subcategories dedicated to different families of integer sequences.
Yeah. So I think to kind of kick things off, let's make sure we're all on the same page here.
Okay.
What exactly is an integer sequence?
Well, at its core, an integer sequence is simply a set of integers arranged in a specific order.
Okay.
And that order is key. It's defined by a rule or a formula that dictates which number comes next.
Oh, okay.
So think of it like a code, a set of instructions that generates a specific numerical pattern.
Okay, so like the days in a week, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's an integer sequence because it follows that simple pattern.
Precisely. Or even something like the even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on.
Right.
The beauty is that these patterns can range from the incredibly simple to the mind-bendingly complex.
And some of those complex patterns are still baffling mathematicians, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like I'm thinking of prime numbers, those numbers that are only divisible by 1 in themselves.
Absolutely. They seem to have a mind of their own.
Yeah.
Prime numbers are definitely the rock stars of the integer sequence world.
Okay.
They're considered the building blocks of all other integers, and yet their distribution remains one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in mathematics.
Right.
Mathematicians are constantly searching for larger and larger primes, trying to decipher the hidden code that governs their appearance.
It's like a never-ending treasure hunt.
Totally.
But why are they so important? Is it just for bragging rights? Like, hey, I found the biggest prime number.
Well, there's definitely a sense of awe and wonder in discovering new prime numbers.
Right.
But their importance goes far beyond that.
Okay.
Prime numbers are fundamental to cryptography, the art of secure communication.
Oh, wow.
They're the key ingredients in algorithms that protect our online transactions, our private data, and even national security.
So those seemingly random prime numbers are actually like the guardians of our digital world.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It is pretty amazing.
Okay, so let's move on to another superstar sequence that I know you're fascinated by.
Okay.
The Fibonacci numbers. This sequence is all about building upon itself, right?
Exactly. The Fibonacci sequence starts with 0 and 1, and then each subsequent number is the sum of the two preceding ones.
Yeah.
So you get 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and so on.
Yeah.
It's a simple rule that generates an incredibly elegant and far-reaching pattern.
And the crazy thing is that this pattern shows up all over nature.
It really does.
Like, I remember learning about it in sunflowers, but it goes way beyond that.
Way beyond that, you find the Fibonacci sequence in the spiral arrangements of sunflower seeds, pine cones, even the petals on a rose.
Wow.
It appears in the branching patterns of trees, the shells of nautilus. It's like nature is using this mathematical code to optimize growth and efficiency.
It's like it's hardwired into the natural world around us.
It really is.
But why is it so efficient? Like, what is it about this sequence that makes it nature's favorite pattern?
That's a great question, and one that mathematicians and scientists are still exploring.
Okay.
One theory is that the Fibonacci sequence allows for optimal packing, ensuring that each element has maximum exposure to resources like sunlight or nutrients.
Oh, that makes sense.
Another theory suggests that it relates to the golden ratio, a mathematical proportion that's often associated with beauty and balance.
So it's like the universe is whispering its secrets to us through these numerical patterns.
I'll let that.
But there are so many other intriguing sequences out there.
Right.
What about those that are more, shall we say, exclusive?
Okay.
I'm thinking of perfect numbers. They seem to be quite rare and have some strict entry requirements.
Perfect numbers are definitely a select group. A perfect number is a positive integer that equals the sum of its proper divisors, meaning all the divisors, excluding the number itself.
So 6 is a perfect number because its divisors 1, 2, and 3 add up to 6.
That's right.
It's a perfectly balanced equation.
It is.
But are perfect numbers just a mathematical curiosity, or is there more to them?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Perfect numbers have a deep connection to another fascinating family of numbers called Mersenne primes.
Okay.
A Mersenne prime is a prime number that is 1 less than a power of 2, and every even perfect number can be generated from a Mersenne prime.
Wait, so there's a secret formula to create perfect numbers using Mersenne primes?
There is.
That's amazing. I'm starting to see how interconnected all these different sequences are. It's like they're all part of a giant mathematical tapestry.
Exactly. And that tapestry is vast. There's so many other fascinating integer sequences out there, each with its unique properties and applications. And that's where the online encyclopedia of integer sequences, or OEIS, comes in.
Oh yes, the OEIS. It's like the ultimate integer sequence database.
Absolutely.
We mentioned earlier that there are over 200 pages on Wikipedia dedicated to different types of integer sequences, but the OEIS takes it to a whole new level.
It does. It's a gold mine for anyone interested in exploring the vast world of integer sequences.
Yeah.
It contains over 350,000 sequences and counting, all meticulously cataloged and searchable. You can type in a few numbers from a sequence you've encountered, and OEIS can likely tell you what it is, what its known properties are, and even where it pops up in different fields.
So it's like a numerical detective agency.
Kind of.
You can find sequences based on their patterns, their properties, or even their applications, and the best part is that it's constantly growing and evolving.
It is researchers and enthusiasts from around the world are constantly adding new sequences and making new discoveries.
It's a testament to the boundless nature of mathematical exploration. There's always something new to discover, some new connection to be made.
I agree completely.
And that's what makes this deep dive so exciting.
For sure.
We've just scratched the surface of this amazing world of integer sequences.
We have.
So are you ready to delve deeper and explore some lesser-known sequences that still pack a punch when it comes to mathematical intrigue?
Absolutely lead the way.
Okay, so let's explore some of those hidden gem sequences that you mentioned.
Okay.
I'm ready for some unexpected discoveries.
Well, how about we start with one that sounds deceptively simple, the Lazy Caterer's sequence.
Okay.
Picture this. You're hosting a party and need to cut a circular cake into as many pieces as possible with each straight cut.
Okay, I'm visualizing a cake.
Okay.
First cut, you get 2 pieces.
Right.
Second cut, 4 pieces.
Oh.
Seems pretty straightforward so far.
But here's where the lazy part comes in. The Lazy Caterer isn't concerned with making equal slices, just maximizing the number of pieces. So with the third cut, you aim slightly off-center, cutting through existing pieces.
Okay.
And voila, you get 7 pieces.
Wait, really? 7 pieces? I need to try this next time I cut a cake.
I know, it's fun.
So the sequence goes 1, 2, 4, 7. What comes next?
That's where the intrigue lies. The pattern isn't immediately obvious.
All right.
The next few numbers are 11, 16, 22. It turns out there's a formula involving squares and triangular numbers that can predict the maximum pieces for any number of cuts.
So the seemingly silly scenario about a lazy caterer actually leads to some pretty fascinating math.
It really does.
I love how something so simple can have such unexpected depth. What other hidden gems do we have in store for us?
Let's shift gears from cake cutting to a sequence with a cheerful name.
Okay.
Happy numbers.
Happy numbers.
A happy number is defined by a process. You take the digits of a number, square each one, and add them up. Then you repeat this process with the resulting sum.
Okay, so let's give it a try. How about the number 19?
Okay.
So 1 squared plus 9 squared is 82.
Right.
Then 8 squared plus 2 squared is 68. And we keep going, right?
Exactly. You continue this process, squaring the digits and adding them. And if at any point you reach the number 1, the original number is deemed a happy number.
Okay.
As you'll find, if you keep going with 19, it does indeed lead to 1, making it a happy number.
Okay.
But some numbers get stuck in endless loops, never reaching 1. Those are the sad numbers.
Oh, poor sad numbers. They need a hug. But this whole process, is it just a mathematical amusement, or does it have any practical applications?
That's a question worth pondering. While happy numbers themselves might not have direct real-world applications, the type of thinking they encourage iterative processes, pattern recognition, is at the heart of fields like computer science and number theory.
So it's like a mental workout for mathematicians,
Yeah, you could say that.
building those analytical muscles.
Oh.
Okay, before we wrap up this exploration of hidden gems, I've got to hear about one more sequence. What else have you got up your sleeve?
Let's dive into the look and say sequence,
Okay.
because it's a sequence where the description is the pattern. It begins with 1. To get the next term, you literally describe the previous one. So since there's the second term is 11.
Okay, I think I'm following. So 11 is 2 ones,
Okay.
which means the third term would be 21.
Precisely. You're catching on quickly.
Wow.
And then 21 is 1, 2, then 1, 1, making the fourth term 12, 11.
Wow.
And so this self-describing sequence keeps becoming more complex with each iteration.
It's a sequence that talks about itself.
I know, it's pretty neat.
But what I find truly fascinating is that this seemingly simple rule gives rise to a sequence with some pretty deep mathematical properties.
Absolutely. The look and say sequence, despite its straightforward description, exhibits chaotic growth, meaning it's difficult to predict its long-term behavior.
Yeah.
It also displays self-similarity, where patterns within the sequence repeat at different scales. And there are even connections to concepts like the cosmological theorem that emerged from studying this sequence.
We went from describing numbers to cosmological implications.
I know, it's amazing.
That's mind-blowing. So we've got cake-cutting happy numbers and a sequence that talks about itself. Who knew integer sequences could be so diverse and unexpected? But it makes me wonder, how are these new sequences discovered? Is it all complex formulas and equations, or is there an element of serendipity involved?
That's a fantastic question.
Mm.
And the answer, as with many things in mathematics, is a blend of both.
Okay.
Some sequences are, of course, discovered through rigorous mathematical analysis,
Right.
but others emerge from unexpected sources, often from observing patterns in the real world.
Ooh, tell me more about those unexpected discoveries. I love those aha moments where something seemingly ordinary reveals a hidden mathematical order.
Imagine a scientist studying the growth patterns of a particular plant species. They might meticulously record the number of leaves, branches, or flowers at different stages of development, not even realizing they're creating a unique integer sequence.
So they're unknowingly documenting a mathematical code embedded within the plant's growth process.
Precisely. And when they analyze their data, they might stumble upon a recurring pattern that reveals a previously unknown integer sequence. It's like nature is whispering mathematical secrets, and we just need to be observant enough to hear them.
So new sequences can pop up anywhere, even in our own backyards.
Exactly. They can emerge from analyzing stock market fluctuations, patterns of traffic flow, even the structure of social networks. It's a reminder that the world is full of hidden patterns, and integer sequences provide a powerful lens through which to view them.
And thanks to the OEIS, we have access to this vast catalog of integer sequences, allowing us to explore these patterns and make connections that might otherwise remain hidden.
It's a testament to the collaborative spirit of mathematics. People from all over the world contribute to this ever-growing database, sharing their discoveries and insights. And that brings us back to the power of exploration and curiosity.
We've journeyed from the familiar territory of prime numbers and Fibonacci sequences to the uncharted waters of lazy caterers, happy numbers, and self-describing sequences.
And along the way, we've seen how integer sequences pop up in nature technology and even art, revealing the interconnectedness of seemingly disparate fields.
But our journey doesn't end here. There's so much more to discover in this fascinating realm of integer sequences.
So are you ready to dive into some specific examples that showcase the diverse properties and applications of these numerical wonders?
Absolutely, lead the way. Okay, so you've piqued my curiosity with these diverse properties and applications.
Okay.
Hit me with some examples that really showcase what integer sequences can do.
Let's start with a sequence that bridges mathematics and music.
Okay.
The harmonic series. You're probably familiar with the idea of musical harmony, right?
Yeah, like when different notes played together sound pleasing to the ear. But how do numbers fit into that?
Well, the harmonic series in mathematics is a sequence of fractions where each term is 1 divided by a positive integer. So it goes 1, 12, 13, 14, and so on. Now, these fractions actually represent the ratios of wavelengths that create those harmonious musical intervals.
Oh, so if the first note in a scale has a wavelength of 1, the second note that harmonizes with it might have a wavelength of 12.
Exactly.
The third a wavelength of 13, and so on.
You got it. The harmonic series provides a mathematical framework for understanding why certain musical combinations sound consonant or dissonant. And it's not just Western music. These harmonic principles apply across cultures and genres.
So it's like a hidden code behind the music we enjoy.
It really is.
And it all comes back to these simple fractions in the harmonic series. It makes you wonder if there's some deeper connection between mathematics and our perception of beauty in music.
It's a question that has fascinated philosophers and scientists for centuries. But let's move on to another sequence with a different flavor.
Okay.
The Thue-Morse sequence. This one's all about patterns and substitution.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does it work?
The Thue-Morse sequence starts with 0 and then follows a simple rule. You take the existing sequence and append its complement, where zeros are replaced with ones and vice versa.
Okay.
So the first few terms look like this. 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1.
So you start with 0, then add its opposite 1 to get 0, 1. Then you take 0, 1 and add its complement 10 to get 0, 1, 0, and so on. It's like a self-generating mirror image.
Exactly. And the simple rule generates a sequence with some fascinating properties. For instance, it's completely non-repetitive. No matter how far you go into the sequence, you'll never find a repeating block of digits.
That's wild. It's like a pattern that never repeats but still follows a clear rule, like controlled chaos. What
Hmm.
makes the sequence so special? Where does it pop up?
The Thumor sequence has applications in various fields, from computer science to game theory. It's used in algorithms for fair division, ensuring that resources are distributed equitably. It also appears in the study of fractals and quasicrystals, those structures that exhibit both order and irregularity.
We went from music to fractals.
I know, right?
It's incredible how these integer sequences connect seemingly unrelated areas of knowledge.
Okay, I'm ready for one more example before we wrap things up.
Okay.
What's your grand finale?
Let's end with a sequence that has a bit of a mysterious air. The Catalan numbers.
Catalan numbers. They're named after the Belgian mathematician Eugene Charles Catalan. And they pop up in all sorts of combinatorial problems, problems that involve counting arrangements or combinations of objects.
Okay, I'm all about counting possibilities. Give me an example.
Imagine you have n pairs of parentheses, and you want to arrange them in a way that's grammatically correct.
Okay.
For example, with 3 pairs of parentheses, you could have,
The point.
or the Catalan numbers tell you how many valid arrangements there are for any given number of parentheses.
So it's like a mathematical way of figuring out all the possible ways to structure things.
Precisely. And it goes far beyond parentheses. Catalan numbers appear in counting triangulations of polygons, the number of ways to connect points on a circle without intersecting lines, and even the number of possible binary trees with a certain number of nodes.
It's like the Catalan numbers are a secret code for understanding the underlying structure of so many different systems. It's fascinating how one sequence can have such diverse applications. I feel like we've only just begun to scratch the surface of what integer sequences can reveal about the world around us.
And that's the beauty of it. There's always more to explore, more connections to discover, more patterns to decipher. We've journeyed from the well-known to the obscure, from music to mathematics, from nature to technology.
And we've seen how these seemingly simple sequences of numbers hold the keys to understanding complex phenomena, from the harmony of music to the growth of plants to the very structure of the universe itself.
So what's the takeaway from all this? Well, it's that integer sequences are more than just abstract mathematical concepts. They're a language, a code that the universe seems to use to organize itself. And by learning this language, we can unlock a deeper understanding of the world around us and perhaps even uncover hidden patterns that have yet to be revealed.
So, to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep your eyes peeled for those intriguing sequences of numbers. You never know where they might lead you. And who knows, maybe you will be the one to discover the next groundbreaking integer sequence that unlocks a new mystery of the universe. Until then, happy exploring.